It's already been a year since Naruto Ultimate Ninja Blazing was announced to be shutting down. I remember it like it was yesterday. Nordax told us that a shutdown was imminent, and if you logged into Blazing, instead of getting new content for a new update, you were greeted with a shutdown notice, which of course would take about 2 months. You had until February to play, but a year ago, we knew that everything with Blazing was coming to an end. That's when hope kind of ended, if I'm being honest with you. I still had high hopes for the future of either my channel or just Naruto games in general, but it wasn't looking good, and all we knew at the time is that our beloved game was coming to an end. But if you're one of the lucky few, I say that, to me I count myself lucky that I can still open this game and just look through it. Hopefully if I ever update my phones or switch over, I can keep this one so I can actually still have this. It's not much. I can't even see exactly all the abilities and everything else that my units had, but being able to look through the characters that I used to love and still see their amazing artwork is something I will not take for granted. So a year later, I wanted to check in on Blazing, and you know what, just look through some stuff, and I miss this game. I know a lot of you do as well, and with Ninja Tribes about to shut down within a week, that's kind of ironic, and to be honest, it's kind of funny too. A year ago, Naruto Blazing was shutting down, and it was far from the oldest Naruto game. Shinobi Collections is really old, almost 6 to 7 years old. Ninja Voltage is what, 5 to 6 years old? Blazing, it would have been 5.5 years old now. This would have been the second New Year's event that we would have not gotten, and it would have also been the first anniversary this year that we did not have, 5th anniversary, and I can only help to think what the units would have been. I think Blazing did close at a good time though, because with the state of Naruto in Boruto and even Sasuke, I'm not so sure what else they would have done. This game was Shippuden only, and although I really didn't want Boruto to be anything a part of this, once the game started to be towards the end, I actually did want Boruto to be a part of it just so it could revive the game. But you know what, in the end, I'm really glad that they just stuck with Shippuden in part 1. I think that's part of the charm. No Boruto game has seemed to do that great. The only Boruto game in Naruto that I can think that actually did well was Storm Force DLC. I mean, Ninja Voltage does okay, but Naruto Blazing was by far the best Naruto gacha game that we had. That's not even just my opinion. I think that it did amazing, even if the other games have lasted longer than it. When this game was hype, you saw it. The numbers on YouTube that this game did for everybody when it was hype, no other Naruto game, Ninja Tribes never came close to that at all. We would celebrate like what, 30 million downloads for this game, where Ninja Tribes I don't think got anywhere near that, and other Naruto games. But I definitely missed this game, and it was definitely hype at the time. But there is hope. With Ninja Tribes about to shut down, I feel more hopeful than ever that we will get another good Naruto gacha game, or a good Naruto game in general, because the newest Naruto gacha game is gone. It's no longer here. It's about to be shut down within a week, and I hope we can get a good Naruto game. I really do. And I know people miss Blazing. Trust me, I would love more than anything to wake up one day and be able to sign back into Blazing and do new content. I would love that more than anything. But Blazing's time is over, and we need to look to the future. I want a new game, a new Naruto game that's amazing like Blazing, that will last for years like Blazing did. I didn't play Naruto Blazing from the beginning of its life cycle. I started it in 2016 to 2017, but I didn't really play it. I didn't get into it until the beginning of 2018 after 1st anniversary. That was almost 4 years ago at this time. It was, again, the beginning of 2018. It's almost 2022. It's crazy to think, man. At that time, 1st anniversary was Sage of Six Paths Naruto and Rinnegan Sasuke, which again, in my opinion, are the best version of these characters. I think a lot of the older versions of units that we got were the best ones. Sage of Six Paths Naruto and Sasuke, they brought so much hype to Blazing's 1st anniversary, and I think that's what put it on the map. There's so many old videos you can check out, and even though I didn't have the courtesy of being able to summon for these guys at that time, they were amazing characters, and even when I got into the game, I knew that I needed them. And I know we did get new Sage of Six Paths versions later on, but you had to wait 2 years in the form of 3rd year anniversary just to get one. And again, I don't really like PvP units in this game, never really did. Didn't summon on Blazing Bash all that much, but they were hype at times. But this Sage of Six Paths Naruto and this Sage of Six Paths Sasuke were nowhere near as cool as the other versions in my opinion. Even though they were amazing units and they're better units for what they're supposed to be, they were very annoying to have to run into on PvP, but I love them nonetheless. And I never did get that Naruto, but I did get Sasuke. But I'll always love the PvE versions that we got more. Now I know we did get a Sage of Six Paths Naruto after Golden Week in 2019, or no, 2020, 1 year ago. We got this man, almost 2 years at this point. We got him in about May of 2020. The first ever 7-star. I think it is right that Sage of Six Paths Naruto was the first ever 7-star that was added. But the way I feel about 7 stars is very bitter. I feel like a lot of you know that. I think they did ruin the game, and it was where the game was coming to an end. And just the lack of step-ups and the whole change of the feel of Blazing when these units were added, it just didn't feel right to me. But Sage of Six Paths Naruto, I'll still always love the original 6-star over this 7-star. Even though, man, this guy is amazing. And one thing that is amazing about Blazing 2 to me is that I'm such a big fan of the Storm series. Naruto Storm 4 and the Storm Legacy games are just my favorite Naruto games of all time. They are. And even though Blazing did things like this, where it did change upon certain jutsu and it did have its own flair, it was more or less a direct tribute or a direct mobile version of Storm 4 at times with the way the jutsu worked and looked. And that's what I think is an amazing thing. Some people thought it was lazy, some people didn't like it, but I always loved it. I love Storm 4, and seeing a different version, a more 2D version of my favorite jutsu and characters was awesome. I loved it. It's why so many people do enjoy the certain art styles of the Pokemon games nowadays, even though they're not as amazing to some people. Seeing it in a different format of the characters they love, to me is the same with this. I love being able to go back and play Storm 4 now, and I can still experience a little bit of Blazing in those jutsu and a 3D aspect. Now that Blazing's gone, Storm 4 is really the only thing that you can play that will give you somewhat of a feels of Blazing. The jutsu are literally direct comparisons. This Susanoo Kamui Lightning Blade is the exact same one that you will see Kakashi use in Storm 4, and there's so many other ones just like that. We all know this. But I think now that Blazing is gone for good, that makes it even more special because you can only experience these things and get a feel for it through Storm 4. And that's amazing. And I really do miss a lot of these characters. I do. I've said this to this day and a lot of people might not understand, but one of my favorite characters in the game actually is KCM2 Minato. And I'm not talking about the Edo Minato we got back in 2019. I'm talking about this Minato. Yeah, this Minato that released in like 2016 to 17, I believe. One of the first 3-6 chakra units, if I remember right. And just an amazing character. I mean, he wasn't too strong later on, but the fact that he was a KCM2 Minato was amazing to me. I love KCM2 Minato. This jutsu right here is one of my favorite ones in Storm 4. And even though we did end up getting Edo Minato later, the fact that he was already in KCM2, I loved it. I would have loved to have gotten a 7-star or a new version of this guy. I loved it, man. The simplistic things in Blazing. But the artwork was undeniable in this game. I loved it so much. I still to this day love seeing these arts, and the fact that you can go back through the game and look through this and see them still moving, it's really the only way that you can experience it at the way that it was meant to be. And so many people use these art or these units when they're talking about the characters. If you look on YouTube, you look on blog posts, when people are talking about characters, they often use the Blazing artwork because it just stands out that much and represents the character in such an amazing way. I had no quarrels with Ninja Tribe's art style. I thought it was cool in its own way. But even though art's subjective, most people will agree that Blazing had the superior artwork. I mean, just look at this. It's beautiful. And again, I think I like the more older units than I do the later ones. Final Valley Naruto and Sasuke for 4th anniversary were cool, but I think that everyone will agree that the most iconic versions of these units will be their 5 and 6-star counterparts from 2nd anniversary. This Naruto and Sasuke, they are iconic. I feel like if you ask anybody to name a Blazing character's art, and you show them a list, these will probably be their favorites, or they'll be the first ones that they point out. This Sasuke, man, with all the different forms of Sasuke, which it seems like Ninja Voltage tried to do this time around, which is really cool. I like that they did that. I got blazing feels for sure. This art, man, it just shows you the care they put into it and the design. And this was when the art started to be different. We got moving artwork, we got amazing Blazing Fest artworks, and they're just amazing. I mean, just look at it. The last Blazing Festival that we got before 2nd anniversary was this Minato. It wasn't bad. I liked the art style, but 2nd anniversary changed the game. We went from that to this, and it's just iconic. It's so iconic, and I miss it so much. I really do. And I hope that whatever development team worked on this game gives us something Naruto related in the future, because I haven't seen Naruto artwork this amazing. I really haven't, and I think that's one of the things I miss about it the most, is just how great it was. And a year later, these are some of the things that Blazing has still impressioned on me. And the fact of how free to play it was. I still play gacha games from now and then. You know, I play Genshin, if you guys know. And that game I do think is pretty generous in certain aspects, but it's not going to compare to Blazing. Blazing was an amazing free-to-play game, and I don't know if we'll ever get another game like it. It feels like game companies are more and more greedy nowadays. Some are not. The new Halo's free of all things. But the fact that this game made it where it was so easy for you to get pearls. I'll just say this for those of you who know, because I've said so many times in the past that this game was free to play. I'm not going to kick the dead horse anymore. The fact that this game allowed you to get enough pearls to do a full rotation within 3 weeks to a month, meaning you only had to skip one banner, which was usually just PvP related in my case. If that wasn't enough, this existed in the game. Acquisition stones. That alone propels this game into just a different era of just free to play. The fact that this game was so generous already with the pearls and everything, and the rates up, the guaranteed character pools, the step ups, the fact that you could actually sometimes get a new character on the 4th step if they were in that character pool and have amazing rates up, that's crazy. But then they have it where there's a free to play means to get extra abilities to a unit. Think how long it would take you to get a C6 unit in Genshin, and then remember how Blazing allowed you to only pull 1 copy of the unit. You wouldn't even have to do more than 4 summons if you were lucky, because of the rates up or the guaranteed character pool banner depending on what unit you were summoning for. And then all you had to do was just put these into them, which you could get from Ninja Road for free. That is insane. That is insane. A free to play character like me had almost every Blazing Fest unit in the game max duped because of that system. That system alone. And I got shafted a lot too. There were a lot of times where, like with Obito, I pulled 1 Obito from the Golden Week banner, but I had him max dupe because of that amazing system. That is insane to me. Blazing, man, say what you want about it, but it was special. Even I could tell that. I did not care about gacha games before this game came out. I always hated the fact that you had to have a pay to win advantage or all that. I still hate it to this day with microtransactions and all that. But Blazing changed my mind towards it because it did it in a different way. You could still spend money on the game. I'm not saying I never spent money on the game. I did once or twice, but I was free to play for so long, especially with YouTube. I was free to play through all of YouTube of making videos on this game. And that's special to me. I don't know if any other game that comes out is going to allow me to have that chance. But yeah, a year later, I still miss Blazing, and I hope you all do as well. I'm hopeful. With Ninja Tribes about to end in about a week's time, only the future can tell us what we'll get. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and playing Blazing today with me. And I'll see you all in the next video.